action.
What's up, everybody? You are now watching Tucson Taboo and Underground. I'm your host, Kat Cassidy, and today our guest is Swati, a local belly dancer. So tell me how old you were when you first started getting into belly dancing.
I must have been I was a freshman in high school. I was about 14.
Was it like your decision, or did your family kind of like say, hey?
It was mine. I wasn't interested in doing any sports in the high school, and I didn't really know what to do with myself, and then for some reason I was like, belly dancing, that's what I want to do. I had been to like a lot of restaurant shows growing up, and it just seemed very much the kind of thing.
You kind of answered my next question. I was going to ask, like, what kind of inspired you to even think of it in the first place?
When I was little, I grew up watching like all the Bond movies and going to Vegas with my parents and just seeing a lot of basically 60s and 70s kind of stuff in terms of film with belly dance, and I was so attracted to it. The music, it was really sexy to me, and just, it's at the time, and now it's obviously evolved into something else.
Did you, when you first started out, was it like you were part of a dance company, or did you have like private lessons, or how did that?
I went to a place in Tucson called Dance of Arabia, which is still there, and I started, they had beginning classes up through professional level, and I just kind of worked my way up throughout high school. And so I never worked with a company, but I sometimes did performances with them. And
do you work with a specific company now? Or?
No,
You're more like freelance?
I'm freelance, private, I do my own thing.
How do you book your gigs? Do you contact other places, or do they contact you?
It depends on what I'm looking for. If it's like a private event, I'll usually have, through just connections in the community, somebody come find me. Or if it's a new restaurant or somebody I know is having something going on, I'll look them up.
Okay, and the next question I want to ask you, this is actually just more of my personal thing I've been wanting to know. What is like the hardest part of belly dancing for you?
For me, I have horrific stage fright. Like it's bad, but you get over it. You get a mantra going. You just think and I learned that from a dancer I took classes with. Just get a mantra going. Her name's Fanina. She lives in Oregon. She just gave me this advice, and that's kind of helped a lot. But mostly stage fright, mostly just making sure everything's intact from a costume to makeup and hair. And if I do choreography, I can't do it. I'm an improv dancer, so just to make sure I feel the audience and feel what I'm doing and feel the music and go from there. Just really have to ignore it all.
That's pretty good advice. What would you say to somebody who's like really, really super, super scared of being in front of people that want to get into belly dancing? Like what?
Well, belly dancing, if you want to do it for performance, is one thing, but a lot of people take it just for themselves. It makes them feel good. It's fun to learn a new kind of, if you're doing the classic stuff, like learning some of the Arabic melodies, or if you're doing more tribal fusion dance, just being able to get into that. I don't know, I would say just do it for yourself first, and then kind of, if you're interested in performing, go from there.
Right. What are some really cool facts that you can tell us about belly dancing, or the history of belly dancing? Because like people like me know nothing about it, so like just little fun facts that you know off the top of your head.
Well, I guess one of the things I've been working on for the past year is doing classic belly dance floor work, like classic American style cabaret floor work, and I have some people that I look up to for that. But most of it, the one thing that's weird about floor work is it's been completely banned in Egypt because it's very, very, some people see it's very sexual or very earthy or very lower class from what I've learned from a dancer named Corey Zamora. But on the whole, that's one of the things. Like, there are certain things that are okay in one community and not okay in another. Certain movements that are okay on your tiptoes but not okay in another.
So, Swati, tell us the most interesting, outrageous, like the most outrageous place you've ever performed at.
It wasn't really an outrageous place, but it was definitely like a very new experience for me. I went to a tantric event, and they asked me to perform there. I got, in addition to being paid well, like a nice ticket into the whole thing, and I was really nervous. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be an orgy or like or just me going and dancing, and it was a very fascinating, very interesting experience.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about your all-time favorite performance you've ever done?
You know, it was actually really recently. It was at my really good friend's wedding, and it was for the blue moon. So it was outside, it was nighttime, it was her wedding, it was like in this forest out in Oregon. And I felt like the costume choice was right, the people were enthusiastic, and I really live for the audience. Like, I get that kind of connection with them, then I can really get it, and that was it. It was really good.
All right, and then the next thing I want to ask you is, where do you get like all your costumes? Because
there's so many ways. You can make them yourself. So my first few costumes my mom made when I was younger. You can hire somebody in town that'll make them for you, or you can order them online. There's a few different places. Like, I've gotten some really good ones from Isis Exchange and Dalal International, but there's a lot of designers out there that just purely design belly dance costumes based out of Egypt, and you take all your measurements and have them sent. And then recently I learned from somebody that to get your costumes properly altered, to go to a bridal shop. So I've been doing that because it can take good care of them.
So are there any local shops that offer costumes like already just prepared that you?
Locally, I haven't bought any locally, except for my very first ones from that studio I started out with, Dance of Arabia, which is kind of a little more east on Broadway. And then I know the other studio that sells some costume pieces and accessories and practice stuff is Belly Dance Tucson, which is on Broadway in Tucson. So you can find it. You can find pieces everywhere. Like, even if you're on 4th, you'll find a belt or a scarf, or where I get like costume jewelry is always at the mall, at like the teen jewelry shops, like Claire's or Forever 21, or stuff like that, or like barrettes. Barrettes.
What kind of events do you have coming up? Do you have anything you can let us all know? I mean, like, if we wanted to see you, where can we see you?
I'm gonna be doing something that I'm not sure about the date yet. We're going between a couple of dates here at Sinatra's Hideout. Then I might be doing something in October, but because I'm moving to Portland in December, January, I'm not sure if that particular group will want something that's not going to be local for a while. And then in December, on December 12th, I'm going to be dancing at the Baghdad Bazaar event. And then I move, and I've got a few things lined up in Portland. I'm in the works of being a model for a 70s belly dance event where I'll be modeling historical costumes for the 70s. Cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
How did you get that?
I knew I was moving, and I wanted to get in touch with the community, but not necessarily start like thinking about dancing. So I knew through word of mouth a few people that are doing some stuff out there and got in contact with them. So that's one where I got in contact with the people there.
Alright, that's pretty sweet.
That's my favorite era of belly dance, is the 60s, 70s, early 80s. I love the American style from there, the classic. The costumes are really simple and concise and just really, they're ornate, but the movement is very fluid, it's very improv, and a lot of times there's live musicians. And it's my favorite. That's the style I kind of go towards.
I'm pretty interested to know what are your, besides like belly dancing, what are your hobbies? What are like things you're passionate about?
Well, I feel like I'm some sort of like some sort of hedonist. Like I like things like belly dancing and cooking and food and just like very I don't know, very rich passions. But in addition to food and belly dance, I mother and I do a lot of yoga to just keep peace of mind, to like keep my body kind of flexible, and it just kind of ties in with everything.
What advice would you give to young girls who want to get into belly dancing?
Like young, like little
like
kids?
18.
Oh,
want to be in the more mature lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely to do it. I mean, not just learn. Don't just do it to wear the costumes. Don't just do it because you think you want to be on stage, but to do it kind of for yourself, to just be comfortable in your own body. Don't feel like you have to be like, you see belly dancers that are of all different kinds of body types, all different places around the world. Just to do it for yourself, do it, get in touch with the music, really enjoy what you're doing. Don't just, I don't know, don't just do it because you feel like you want to be like very sexy or have this outlook on it. So it's a hard thing to do, and to just don't stress out about it. With any creative art, I think people just need to really not focus on the little things and type A type stuff, but just be more fluid with it. Get it into you.
All right,
Explore it.
Thank you for coming down and talking with us. So everybody, I just wanted to really quickly let you know that she is nominated for Bogdare's Performer of the Year. So go to the Bogdare Facebook page, like their page, and check her out on their website, because I hope she wins. I'm definitely voting for you. And she will be at the Bogdare Bazaar December 12th. So I'm Kat Cassidy, your host, and thank you for watching.